The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and more in southwestern Connecticut.
Good evening and welcome to Cutco Gym here in Stamford, Connecticut as we get set for our girls' game of the week on the HAN Network. Alongside Chris Cato Kalin, I am Frank Granito, and let's start off by saying, Cato, happy birthday. We are happy to have you on the call here tonight as you're postponing the cake at least until 9 o'clock.
Well, hopefully it should still be fresh by the time I get home.
Cato, as we look at tonight's game, there are a couple of common themes here. Number one being the colors in these jerseys, black and orange. But most importantly, if you're talking black and orange, you're talking about the last two FCIAC champions, Ridgefield back in the 2014-2015 season, and of course the defending FCIAC and state champion Stamford Lady Knights. We saw them receiving their rings earlier today. Both teams come in hot as any other. It should be a lot of fun here in the gym.
Absolutely, Frank. And Ridgefield's coming off a tough loss to Trumbull, where we had talked to Coach Tom DiMarzo before the game, and the one thing he had said, they shot very poorly. He wasn't very happy with the way they shot, and against a team like Stamford High, where they get where you have to prevent those second chance, you can't allow those second chance opportunities for Stamford High, and if you give them that opportunity to rebound, they're going to take it, and it's going to lead to fast break points, and it's going to make life very difficult for you if you're Ridgefield. You have to make your shots.
Before we take a look at the Stamford Black Knights, we'll step aside quickly, and we get back. We will have tip-off right here on the HAN Network.
Ready for winter? Ski and Sport has everything you need to be fully outfitted for the season. A family-owned and operated business with over 40 years of experience, Ski and Sport's 3 convenient locations in Fairfield County offer top-quality, high-fashion ski and winter wear. In addition to clothing for men, women, and children, we also offer seasonal rentals for the entire family. Stop by our stores on 1 Ethan Allen Highway in Ridgefield, 877 Post Road East in Westport, and at 110 Main Street in New Canaan, or visit us at skiandsport.net.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN Network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network, and we've also reached 1.7 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back on the HAN Network at Stamford High School inside Cutco Gymnasium. Frank Granito, Chris Kalin, and we welcome now the third member. We'll welcome shortly the third member of our broadcast, Mr. Kevin Coleman. He'll be patrolling the sidelines tonight. Cato, we talked a little about that Ridgefield team. 4-1 they are. 3-1 in the conference. And really struggling against a Trumbull team that's off to a good start. But as Coach DiMarzo said, they won every category they would like to. They just shot 11% was the number he used. On the other side of the court, the Stamford Black Knights come in undefeated, 5-0, 3-0 in the conference. They haven't lost in 12 straight games dating back to last year. And they haven't lost in this gym since January 28th of 2015. What is it about this program right now that has got them reeling?
Well, besides the athleticism and the ability of the players, Stamford High has that one factor going for them that you cannot teach: size. And their starting lineup is going to feature 3 players over 6 feet tall. And that's an undaunting task for Ridgefield, only because, like we said, with the size and the skill that they possess and their ability, it makes rebounding very easy for Stamford High.
And it'll be a very interesting matchup when you think about the athletic ability of the Tigers and the guards. We might see 3 or 4 guards on the court at any given moment versus the 2 forwards and a true center look that you'll see from the Knights throughout the evening.
Well, the thing is, you look at it and you see the 1 center and the 2 forwards. You look at it, all 3 of them play like centers.
It should be a great matchup for someone who has gotten a good look at the Ridgefield Tigers already this year and knows a thing or two about Ridgefield High School. We go courtside now to Kevin Coleman. Kevin, welcome. How are you tonight?
Good evening, fellas, and a happy new year.
Kev, when you think about this Ridgefield Tigers team, what are they going to have to do matchup-wise to compete with the size of the Stamford Black Knights?
Frank, we touched upon it on Nutmeg Sports today. They need a rebound. Box out the big guys. We know Andrea Connor. We know how good she is down low. She can get those rebounds, put some putbacks up. They're going to have to shut her down. By that, they're going to have to play big. Box her out, look for the outlet pass, and push it forward.
Thank you, Kevin. Cato, if there is a team that might be able to knock off these Black Knights, it would be the Ridgefield Tigers. They handled them in the regular season last year. They're actually up 3-2 in this series over their last 5 meetings. Let's quickly take you through the starting lineups as we get set for the opening tip-off. For the Ridgefield Tigers, you'll see Julia Middlebrook, Megan O'Hara, Grace Goodwin, Caroline Colonel, and Elizabeth Middlebrook. They will wear the all-black uniforms and work from left to right on your screen. On the other side for the Black Knights, it will be Camille Martinez alongside Alexa Kellner, Brooke Kelly, Andrea O'Connor, and Martha Gierand. They're in the all-white, moving from right to left on your screen. Of course, Andrea O'Connor, a name we are very familiar with from the fall, an MVP performance for the Stamford Black Knight FCIAC champion volleyball team. As Ridgefield and Stamford trade turnovers on their first possession. A lot of media in the house tonight, Cato. This is a highly anticipated matchup between 2 of the top teams in the conference.
And for Stamford High, they're ranked 3rd in the Game Time CT state rankings. For Ridgefield, they're trying to break in, they're trying to break through it, and they're trying to establish themselves as a team to beat in the FCIAC.
The first bucket of the night will go to the Tigers' Megan O'Hara as she drains that one from three-point land. Trap comes to Gearing, good active hands there as it's last touched by Colonel and played out of bounds. Correction, that was Alexa Kellner who they went with on the trap. Kelly up top, over to O'Connor. You'll see a lot of motion from this Black Knights offense. As Middlebrook unable to connect with her sister, it's turned back over. As Kelly on the drive, little runner, no good. And the rebound connected by O'Hara. Passing up to Middlebrook, and she did well drawing the foul. That was Julia that time, running in transition.
Andrew O'Connor is going to draw the foul for the push. It's going to put Middlebrook on the line. For Ridgefield, they're going to swarm early. They're going to try to get Stamford High out of their comfort zone. They're not going to let them get comfortable in shots, be able to, to feel free to move along in the paint, rotate along the end line. They're really going to push them to move the basketball.
And especially in transition, you have to expect them to try and drive, take it to the rack there, and hope to draw fouls. Put the taller girls for Stamford in trouble early on, as that shot well off the mark this time out of the hands of Martinez. Three-pointer on the way from Kellner, and she knocks it down, her first bucket of the night.
I saw Kellner before this game. She was lining up. She was hitting those shots. She was even hitting them from the NBA three.
Nice pass from Colonel. As this one works all the way around, but Julia unable to convert.
And it's going to be Julia Middlebrook with the block. See, that's the drawback when you play that type of press. If somebody gets out and moving and you're out of position, it's an easy foul you're going to commit.
And a foul on the inbound here again.
2 quick fouls for Middlebrook. She's going to have to take a seat.
And they'll
checking
trade one Middlebrook for the other. Julia sits down, and the sophomore Claire checks in. 3 Middlebrooks on this roster if you are scoring at home. Just under 2 minutes gone by as the Tigers lead early on 4-3. Kellner outside working on O'Hare. Now it's Martinez up top. Almost picked up her dribble there, but resets back underneath that Black Knights logo at midcourt. Pass was too tall that time as they wanted to go inside to O'Connor. Good pressure there from Elizabeth Middlebrook, forcing the issue on that pass, Cato.
Well, the Ridgefield 2-3 zone, they're working high. They're pushing everybody out, and they're forcing the guards to move further back toward the end to the midcourt line.
And that's about as well as you can beat the press there. Perfect passing up the court from the Tigers is now Colonel from the outside, knocks down Caroline with her first 2 points tonight. Turned over right away, and Colonel again inside. She's got a quick 4. And another turnover. Kelly called for a travel.
Stamford High is going to get a timeout, which is a good move.
Coach Burns wants to slow things down and talk it over. 5:22 left in the first quarter. It is an 8-3 lead for the Tigers. We'll step aside and be right back with more high school hoops on the HAN Network.
Why cook it all this holiday? Avoid the stress of holiday planning and let your friends at Walter Stewart's in New Canaan do the heavy lifting. Whether you're looking to fill in with a few crowd-pleasing sides or you want us to prepare your whole feast, from cranberry sauce to pumpkin pie, we're ready to simplify your holiday. Place your order from our holiday menu and spend your holiday the right way, relaxing. Our fresh prepared holiday meals to go are designed with your busy schedule in mind. Visit us at stewartsmarket.com or at 229 Elm Street, New Canaan.
Welcome back to the HAN Network's Game of the Week between the Ridgefield Tigers and the Stamford Lady Knights. Let's go down courtside now. Kevin, we talked about this a little earlier today on Nutmeg Sports. We're seeing that pressure defense right now from both teams, applying it for the entire length of the court.
Yeah, it's the Ridgefield Tigers who look so impressive on this full court press. I know Cato will agree with me on this, the intensity that they bring. How about Caroline Colonel's effort in that last 2 to 3 minutes there, getting 2 buckets, a couple steals. It's just that press is so impressive for the Ridgefield Tigers. They're going to give a lot of teams, including the Black Knights tonight, a lot of trouble.
Thank you, Kevin. And that's a pass that O'Hara probably wants back on that inbound as Kellner was able to take it away. So coming out of the timeout, a good job there by the Lady Knights, keeping this lead to 5 as they look to chip away. Pick and roll defended very well this time by Grace Goodwin. And now the jumper from the wing is no good, but drawing the foul is Kellner. She will head to the line for her first 2 tonight.
Elizabeth Middlebrook is going to get credited for that foul.
Gonna rule that one on number 4, Grace Goodwin.
Well, it was 4 Grace Goodwin.
As Kellner knocks down her first free throw. And there's a correction there.
That's
the
what I
foul
thought.
is on Elizabeth Middlebrook, not Grace Goodwin.
The officials for tonight's game, Vin Procaccini and Diane Zalewski.
As Kellner knocks down both free throws, and the lead now 3, with the Tigers leading 8-5. Out in the corner, there's Claire Middlebrook. Goodwin to the baseline, looks for help. Tigers working around the outside. O'Hara with an open look, no good. Good hustle from Claire, and Elizabeth draws the foul as the Middlebrooks go to work down in the paint.
Andrea O'Connor is going to pick up her second foul.
It is the second team foul against the Lady Knights as Middlebrook, that's Elizabeth, at the line for the first time.
And Middlebrook, she had position down underneath. She had the rebound. O'Connor got there about half a second late with the attempted block. It just came down on top of her.
And this is the versatility that Stanford has with this side. Kellner will now go down to the 4 position. And you'll see Lansadell check in at the other guard spot.
Lansadell, 5'10 freshman, going to see some varsity time.
Carly Smith is getting ready to sub in as the Tigers working through their bench right now as well. Pass down low is denied. Athletic play from Colonel there, snagging that one with one hand. Clara Middlebrook going up strong. Good defense from Kelly, no call. As we go back and forth. Inside, off the glass, no good. Second opportunity denied as it is last touched by Marth Giran.
And going back to that, the reason why there wasn't the foul, Claire Middlebrook recognized that the defender had position on her, and she broke her body, moved her body to get off the shot to try to get a different shot so she wouldn't draw the charge.
Middlebrooks open up top, puts it on the floor, but picked up that pivot foot, and that's a travel.
That's the swarming Stanford High defense. They swarmed on Middlebrook. She didn't have that clear passing route, so she had that little stutter step. She was going to break off the pass, but she held it too long.
Here's Kelly with 3:40 remaining in an 8-5 game. Both teams struggling to get in a groove early on here offensively. If there's one player who has, though, it is Alexa Kellner. Kellner tried to cross up O'Hara, and now an odd man opportunity the other way. O'Hara to the rack, draws the foul. She'll go to the line to shoot two. This will be the first foul against Camille Martinez.
And O'Hara had the drive, but she had another player with her. I don't know if she saw Grace Goodwin following up behind her, but all she had to do is if she dumps that off behind her, it's an easy 2 points.
She'll get back at least one of those two as she hits her first free throw. Makes this a 4-point game with a 9-5 lead. Perfect with both. And the lead back to 5 now. The last time these two schools met was in the 2016 state tournament, and the 13th seeded Ridgefield Tigers. As this one ruled a jump ball, and the possession arrow. Possession arrow is pointing towards Stanford, much to the disagreement of Coach Tom DiMarzo. Stanford won that tournament game by a score of 65-32. When the two teams met in the regular season, it was Ridgefield, though, who came away the winner 64-41. That was only one of two losses last year for the Stamford Black Knights. Pass down low. Is just out of the reach of Carly Smith as she was unable to walk the line. So another turnover here. We've seen some sloppy play early on tonight, Cato.
Well, it's in this zone press that both teams are running. There's a lot of rushing, and both teams are not able to get themselves set or get themselves to the positions that they want to.
Kellner quickly spotting that one up, too strong off the back rim, and then tripped up that time was Goodwin. We'll see if it's on Girand or Martinez. So Camille Martinez quickly picks up a second foul, and now there are two Lady Knights in trouble early on. 4 team fouls against Stanford to this point with 2:30 remaining in a 10-5 game in the first quarter.
And the junior, Kelly Jagozinski, is going to check in for Martinez.
Elizabeth Middlebrook back in the game, kicks down low to the baseline and finds her sister Claire. So Claire on the board for the first time tonight. Give Elizabeth an assist.
Caroline Colonel's going to pick up the foul underneath. Ball on the floor.
2:10 remaining. A 12-5 lead. Let's go down to Kevin Coleman. Kevin, this one being called very tightly at the moment. Not a lot of leeway from the officials.
No, they're letting the girls play, Frank, which is what a lot of fans like to see, and the coaching staff as well. And you talk about this Ridgefield Tigers team with a little over a minute and a half left, Frank. They've only led Stanford 5 points. That has to be so impressive. Coach DeMarzo has to be thrilled being over the Ridgefield sideline. He was praising his team as well as the assistant coaching staff. High praise on the Ridgefield bench to hold this very good Stamford Black Knight team to 5 points so far in the first half, Frank.
And this is a Black Knight team that has scored over 60 points in their last 2 games, has not been held under 50 in their past 4. Their lowest scoring game was 47 points back in the first week. With 90 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Another foul ruled here. And that is the junior Kelly Jagzinski, who also had a turnover, Cato, on her first possession as she's fighting it a little bit, checking into the game for the first time tonight.
Well, the hard part, Ridgefield's done an outstanding job clogging those passing lanes in the half-court sets. So what's happening is Stanford High moves off that pass, but when that passing lane's interrupted, now you have the hesitation, and there's the stutter step.
Goodwin was open for a shot momentarily, but couldn't quite handle the pass. Looked like she might have been knocked in the face that time as Colonel picks up Kelly in transition. Kelly now with time and space, throws up the 3 and knocks it down.
Excellent by Kelly Brooks. She dribbles in, she pulls back off the play, looks to see if she's going to pass off the ball, takes a step back to the three-pointer with no one around and drains it.
Grace Goodwin was a little slow to get up momentarily. Might have had the wind knocked out of her there. She'll head to the bench for a quick rest that time. Megan O'Hara checks back in as a 12-8 game in favor of the Knights. Ball goes down on the floor for a minute, and then picking up the foul this time was Claire Middlebrook.
Claire Middlebrook was extremely aggressive on defense there. You don't have to be in that situation. Just stay in front of your guard. Just stay in front of the person you're defending. Just move your feet. That time she tried a little too late to go for the steal, and it just didn't work out.
And almost picked that pass off the inbound. As Kellner will wisely slow things down. 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Knights trail by 4. Make it, just off the front rim. A strong take that time from the junior guard, but just couldn't get that hometown roll.
Brooke Kelly, she's shown herself to be a great ball handler, and she's got good explosive speed to the basket.
Middlebrook flashes out in the high post, now kicks down low to Caroline, who knocks down the 2-pointer. They're going to say her foot was on the line that time. Correction, that was Claire Middlebrook on that shot. Jumper from the outside, no good, and a foul on the floor. It's going to be Gearand over the back here with 1 second remaining in the quarter.
Ridgefield so far in this quarter has done a great job getting defensive position under the boards. It's giving Stanford High fits.
And keep in mind now, Cato, with only 1 second remaining, the Tigers have found themselves in the bonus. No matter what you do, don't take a 5-second violation. Little miscommunications with the clock that time. They're going to say it was tipped off the inbound. I don't know if they saw that one. Either way, no harm, no foul. So it is a 14-8 lead for the Ridgefield Tigers at the end of the first quarter. We'll step aside and be right back with more high school hoops action coming up right here on the HAN Network.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network. Back on the HAN Network in Cutso Gymnasium on the campus of Stamford High School. It is a 6-point Tigers lead. Let's go down courtside to Kevin Coleman. And Kevin, the Ridgefield Tigers will find themselves in the bonus shooting a 1-and-1 opportunity on the next Stamford foul. You know how important free throws are going to be tonight.
I know you do, Frank. You're a big preacher on free throws, and especially in this level, if you go on the line, you have to make sure you make your free throws. Very key. I got to listen in what head coach Diane Burns for Black Knights had to say during the break, still giving her team some praise. She didn't want to knock them too much. I see a turnover here for the Tigers, but she was praising them, trying to keep their confidence up. And it looks like Stamford Knights will try and keep that confidence rolling here as they try and get the ball, Frank.
Thank you, Kevin. And Cato, a couple of players to keep an eye on. You've got Camille Martinez, Andrea O'Connor, and Julia Middlebrook, all who picked up 2 fouls in that first quarter.
Well, Martinez and O'Connor, they're still on the bench.
You do have Julia Middlebrook back in the game for the Tigers. That last bucket coming from Brooke Kelly trims the lead down to 4. Double team coming as O'Hara dribbles out of it. Down to the corner, and Colonel goes to the baseline. Caroline stepped on that line, though. And it is a Tigers turnover as the Black Knights take over. You've got Middlebrook, O'Hara, Goodwin, and Colonel on the floor right now for the Tigers. It's Kelly alongside Lancetal, Jagzinski, Gierend, and Kellner. Middlebrook in the middle, goes up strong off the glass, and Elizabeth gets the bucket. And a double dribble called that time, Cato.
And for Lancetal, she had the dribble, she had the high. What happened was the ball got away from her, it went high, it came down and she caught it. What she didn't realize, she completed her dribble, and then she looked to pass it off and then start dribbling again. She didn't realize that high, she almost got called for a carry almost.
Nice crossover move from O'Hara and a better pass outside. Julia Middlebrook knocks down her first 3 of the night. Inside, Gearin with a little baby hook. She gets it to go.
Great ball movement by Stamford High, moving her around the key, going deep, and then coming back in.
Back and forth to start the second quarter as both teams have found the offensive touch now. Good job by Goodwin to climb the ladder. Better play to stay in bounds. Pass over to Middlebrook again. Too strong, and Elizabeth cannot quite grab the rebound. It's Megan Lancetal who comes up with it. Kellner feeling it from deep. No good, and it goes up over the top, out of bounds.
Stamford High, like we had the other day up last week up in Norwalk, you hit that pole cable for the backboard, and it's out of bounds.
Good cut from O'Hara, dribbled it off her foot, and now a loose ball on the floor. It is a jump ball. Possession will go the Black Knights' way as the Tigers are going to pull out of the press.
You can't run the press for a full half. You'll burn yourself out.
O'Connor will get set to check back in as Kellner tried to dump it down low. Active hands from Elizabeth Middlebrook breaks it up. Colonel controlled, and then drawing the foul down low was Grace Goodwin as she'll head to the line for the first time tonight. That is Kellner's first foul. Goodwin off on the first one.
O'Connor will check back in.
Tigers struggling from the line a little bit here in the first half. Not as accurate as when we saw them back before the Christmas break, Kevin.
Frank, we know how important it is to get your free throws at this level. Ridgefield Tigers so far not doing too well from the foul line. And a silly foul there by O'Hara. And I really think the Stamford Black Knights, they looked like such a different team coming into this second quarter, guys. Really impressed. They did listen to what head coach Burns had to say.
That foul was on Caroline Colonel, her second of the game, the team 6. So Stamford now in the bonus as well. And after what was a very quick first 3 minutes, Cato, we've seen the play slow down or so the last 60 seconds now. As Colonel picked that one off. Strong play there, and then Giran got tangled up, and she's called for the foul, her second as well. A lot of starters now with 2 fouls on them.
And it's going to be a 1-and-1.
And both coaches are being forced to go to their bench a little earlier than they would have liked. There's Caroline Colonel with a 1-and-1 opportunity. The Tigers holding on to a 5-point lead. As Caroline knocks down the first. This is your girls' game of the week here on the HAN Network. Coming up Friday night, we will be at St. Joseph's High School when the Cadets host the Norwalk Bears in boys hoops. Another offensive board for the Tigers and a possession renewed. Here's O'Hara, tries to go down low and now gets to Elizabeth Middlebrook. She goes up strong and finishes, taking advantage of the mismatch over Lencedo.
Ridgefield demonstrating some great ball movement on that possession.
Kelly trying to work around off the pick. Thought she might have been tied up, but instead was called for the travel. And Cato, what has stood out so far for me, the missized or mismatched in size here, Ridgefield Tigers are dominating the glass.
They are, and what they're doing is by their rotations, they're getting Stamford High out of their comfort zone. And we get the travel turnover for Stamford High. And it's you hear Coach Tom DiMarzo talking about how that travel was really a Euro step. It's not the Euro step, it's a travel. It's that extra hesitation step. You can't call it. That's a travel. If you don't call it, they let you get away with it in the NBA.
Maybe if your name is LeBron James. 3:30 remaining.
LeBron could take 5. And nobody will say anything.
A 22-14 lead. Spotting up the three-pointer this time, no good. And another rebound for the Ridgefield Tigers. And they continue to try and run in transition now. Open look. Claire. Excuse me. Could not get that one to go. Claire Middlebrook off the mark.
I'm sure if she knew you, you'd be on a first-name basis, Frank.
All those Middlebrooks, you have to just assume one of them's touching the ball at some point in time. All 3 on the court at the moment as Kelly goes up strong. And Elizabeth Middlebrook with another defensive rebound. Deja vu as the Tigers out in transition again, and a hard foul from Kellner that time to deny the layup.
Stamford High, they're exhibiting a little bit of frustration. You can see it on the court. The ball movement and things aren't working out the way they had planned. And the hard part is they're not adjusting well.
You can see it from Coach Diane Burns as well.
I mean, you have the size, you have the skill. Ridgefield right now, they're out hustling you, they're out working you. They're the undersized, pesky team that's just running rings around all of your big players.
O'Hara 0 for 2, but another offensive rebound and an extra possession. You can hear Coach DiMarzio preaching patience from the bench. This one turned over. O'Connor's picked up her third, and we have likely seen the last of Andrea for the first half.
It's the 10th team foul in the half for Stamford High, so everything here is going to be a two-shot foul.
Goodwin off the mark. Kevin, the Tigers 0 for their last 4 from the free throw line. They need to capitalize against a team like Stamford.
Yeah, exactly, Frank. They need to capitalize on their free throws, especially against a team who is undefeated right now in the Stamford Black Knights. But I got to give them a lot of credit. They've been playing really, really well against this Black Knights team, who coming into this game are heavy favorites. Ridgefield into this game 4-1. Really stepped up their defense. But Frank, I think both teams are starting to get into a little bit of foul trouble, as you see here.
And that is for sure. That is the second foul against Elizabeth Middlebrook.
And for Stamford High, they are a good free throw shooting team. They work on it. What they need to do is let your ball handlers put the ball on the floor and attack the defense. Force this Ridgefield defense. They've forced them to collapse in on the paint.
And you saw it that time from Megan Landseedel. She did well breaking through the hard field zone and earning a trip to the line. She goes 1 for 2. The lead trimmed down to 7. Here's a good job by O'Hara. Snagged that one out of the air as it looked like it might have sailed into the first row. 2 minutes remaining, and while it might be easy to blame a lack of offense, Cato, really there needs to be an appreciation for the smothering defense we've seen to start this half.
It's just right now Ridgefield is out hustling Stamford High.
Great ball movement here as Claire goes up to the rack. No good. Battle for the rebound, and Lencido comes away with it. Martinez back into the game. Trying to force one inside, and it's turned over again. Goodwin had teammates had she had her head up there, but instead goes to the rack. Too strong? Why not another offensive board? As this time Kozlowski gets on the score sheet with her first stat. And drawing another foul inside are the Ridgefield Tigers.
Martinez is going to pick up her third personal.
Just very frustrating for the senior, who has not played the minutes she would like to in a game like this because of the foul trouble. Oh, for their last 6 on free throws are the Tigers.
And it has been Ridgefield's lack of free throw shooting that is keeping Stamford High within reach.
Only a 7-point game, despite what has felt very one-sided towards the Tigers.
Several coaches on the Ridgefield bench yelling out the obvious violation.
So an extra opportunity now, as Middlebrook desperately wants to end this streak, and finally are the Tigers able to convert on a free throw. Well, Kevin, the 8th time's a charm as the slump has been broken.
I'm looking forward to seeing what the actual percentage is at the half for the Tigers at the line. It's something they need to fix. Cato touched upon how Stanford's been great from the line. They practice it all the time. And that's something that the Ridgefield Tigers may need to practice more on is foul shooting. We know how
Great pick and pop there, but unable to knock down the jumper was Girand.
I think Girand on that defender in front of her didn't have it. She could have easily drove for the basket, maybe taken the 2 points and draw a foul.
Kellner inside with the reverse, and she gets it to go. Her first points of the second quarter. She's up to 7 in the game, and it's now a 6-point deficit with under 1 minute to play in the first half.
Great presence by Kellner.
That pass was forced from Elizabeth Middlebrook, but O'Hara able to recover, but couldn't finish. One more time turned over. As back and forth we go. And Coach DeMarzo wants to take a timeout and slow things down before the Tigers tried to force one more there.
And for Stamford High, that outlet pass, it was a great idea. Jagosinski, she had the outlet. She had the break she wanted. It was the outlet pass that just wasn't high enough. On that outlet pass, you get that out ahead of everybody. And then you got to rely on your guards to go get it and finish the play. You can't underthrow the outlet passes. If you underthrow those outlet passes, it's going to get picked off all the time, especially against a Ridgefield Tiger team like this, who seems to be, with 5 players on the court, always on the power play.
And we've just seen a variety of mental mistakes from both these teams throughout the first half. I think we expected, I don't want to say a better play, but a smarter performance. But again, with both these teams in foul trouble early on, it has made for a very unique first half for both squads. As O'Hara, with 20 seconds left, draws a foul. And the third foul this time against Girand now.
Girand's going to, she's going to draw her third. And for Stamford High, they're going to have to change how they approach going into the second half. You've got 3 of your starters already with 3 personal fouls. You have another big player with 2. It's you can't have the foul. And you know what? On top of that, you can't start the fourth quarter with Ridgefield in the bonus. That helps at the end of the game because Ridgefield hasn't shot the foul shots very well. But for Stamford High, they're definitely going to have to make adjustments. And they're going to have to move the ball. They're going to have to force Ridgefield to burn themselves out, covering everybody.
2 for 2 at the line that time from O'Hara. And while there are obvious frustrations, and the list goes on and on for the Black Knights here in the first half, that's another turnover as Colonel going to go up to the rack and able to finish. I might have spoken a second too soon as Girand's got an opportunity to get this one off. Too strong off the backboard. I was going to say, Cato, you've got to be happy with the fact that you're only down 8 heading into the half. I still think that Coach Burns can't be all that upset trailing by 10 with the way that first half went.
With all the foul shots missed, Ridgefield should at least be going into that locker room with a 16-point lead. Instead, it's just a 10-point lead, and Stamford High does have that quick strike capability if they can just make the adjustments they need to make.
It was an interesting first half, to say the least. The defending FCIAC and state champion Stamford Black Knights trail 27-17 at the end of the first half. We're going to step aside, but before we go to commercial break, let's throw it back to our own Kate Japlensky in our Shelton studio with an HAN Network news update.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky, and this is your in-game news update on the HAN Network from our studio in Shelton, bringing you the latest headlines for Wednesday, January 4th, including that a 26-year-old Wilton man who police pulled from a burning car in November was formally charged in the incident this week after more than a month of investigation. Police said that Hunter Stanford Bittersweet Lane was charged with operating under the influence and failure to drive in the proper lane in connection with the alcohol level of .26 from Norwalk Hospital with a warrant. They had suspected that he had been drinking because of his behavior and because he told police he had had some wine with a prescription pill. Police joined forces on a rescue mission November 23rd to pull Stanfield from the inside of that wreck of his 2001 Range Rover, which began burning from the engine compartment after running off the road and hitting some trees. That rescue, as you can see, was captured on dash cam video. Stanfield was removed from the car by 6 officers just before fire engulfed the entire vehicle. The car was in the roadway on New Canaan Road. Officers supplied first aid at the scene, and he was taken by ambulance to Norwalk Hospital with only minor injuries. And Ridgefield Fire Marshal Mitchie Grasso said a burning cigarette left on top of a bed caused the house fire on Pelham Lane this morning. Grasso said the homeowner smokes in her bed and left the cigarette when she got up to get something to eat in the kitchen. The fire marshal said the blaze completely destroyed the bedroom and that there was heat and fire damage to the rest of the home. Grasso said we were able to contain the fire from destroying the entire residence. More on that story on the ridgefieldpress.com. And in Reading, a possible aggravated assault that occurred around 3:30 in the morning on Sunday, January 1st, is being investigated by police. According to Reading Police Chief Doug Fuchs, a juvenile male flagged down a Reading police cruiser on Sunday morning and had apparent signs of being assaulted. The young man was taken to the Reading Police Department before being transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police believe his injuries were the result of either a fight or an assault that occurred at a youth party that evening on Newtown Turnpike. Anyone with information is asked to call Reading Police at 203-938-3400. And for the second time in as many weeks, Darien police are investigating a smash and grab burglary at Frat's Liquor on the Post Road. In both incidents, a man used a rock to break the front window and enter the store. When the window still boarded from the first burglary, the suspect used a softball-sized rock to break the opposite window. They then stole the drawer from the cash register along with a computer keyboard, knocking several boxes of wine over while moving in and out. The exact amount of cash taken was unknown, but the suspect in the most recent burglary was a light-skinned male possibly driving a pickup truck. Police are investigating whether the same suspect committed both crimes. And Ridgefield is now home to a refugee family from Syria. Michael Redker, co-chair of the committee sponsoring the family, said that they're a family of 4. The parents are in their 30s and they have 2 boys, kindergarten and preschool age. The family has been in Turkey for 2.5 years before coming to the U.S. Redker said that they voice many times how thankful they are to have the opportunity to be in the U.S. Earlier in December, the family moved into housing provided by one of Ridgefield's churches. The committee's goal now is employment and self-sufficiency for the family. Residents have also been generous recently, donating gift cards and household items needed by the family. You can get much more on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. That does it for this in-game news update on the HAN network. For the latest news, sports, and more, watch Coffee Break weekdays at 11. This update was brought to you by Ski and Sport.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com. At Hoyt Livery, our goal is to always... Sam, what are you doing? We're filming a commercial.
I'm checking out the new Hoyt on the Go app.
Hoyt's here!
Holidays are a wonderful time to spend with families and friends, sharing a fantastic meal. Football season is in full swing, the fishing has been unbelievable, and it's time to make a list and check it twice. Stop at the Dock Shop, get a fix of summer, and browse loads of new products, including fishing tackle, accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop. 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or DocShop.com.
Manfredi New Canaan is a dream come true for locals Kim and Roberto. Their Elm Street store features Rolex, Hermes, and design jewelry collections from everyday classic gold to diamond jewelry. Manfredi offers a range of services from simple jewelry and watch repair to elegant jewelry design. Let Manfredi New Canaan help you find the perfect gift to celebrate important life moments. Visit us at 72 Elm Street, New Canaan, or online at manfredijewels.com.
At In Sports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, In Sports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. Sign up now for the In Sports New England Top 80 Lacrosse Showcase taking place on January 14th. Coaches from New England colleges will be scouting and coaching the recruits for the college class of 2019 and 2020. The top 40 players will be featured in All-Star Game to get maximum recruiting exposure. Spots will fill up fast, so go to insports.com for pricing and more information. Like and follow us on Facebook.
What's happening up in Hartford and what's trending in the Nutmeg State?
Join Kate Chaplinsky
And Josh Fisher
on CT Pulse live Wednesdays at 12:30 to find out.
We talk to the leaders and newsmakers while breaking down the stories you should be paying attention to each week.
With the help of HAN's editorial cartoonist Doug Smith, we take a humorous look at the news of the week. We talk about everything you were told you should avoid bringing up in polite company.
CT Pulse, Wednesdays at 12:30 on the HAN Network.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
When it comes to local entertainment, we've got it all.
From movies, local artists, etiquette, and more.
Watch HAN Arts and Leisure with me, Steve Coulter, and our Arts and Leisure editor, Sally Sanders, Mondays at 12:30, right here on the HAN Network.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN Network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network. And we've also reached 1.7 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
We are back on the HAN Network. First half is over as we get set for half number 2 between the 4-1 Ridgefield Tigers and the undefeated defending FCIAC and state champion Stamford Black Knights. The big story of the first half, Cato, foul trouble for the Stamford Black Knights and the inability from the free throw line for the Ridgefield Tigers.
Agreed, Frank, but more than anything, I would talk about, Ridgefield's defense and just the out-hustling that Ridgefield's done so far of Stamford High. And now, going into the second half, knowing you've got 3 of their starters, their key players, in foul trouble, if I'm Ridgefield, I'm going right at the basket, right into the teeth of it, and force them to play defense against you.
Martinez, O'Connor, and Guerrand all have 3 fouls. And not far behind is Kellner. She picked up 2 in the first half. On the other side, Julia and Elizabeth Middlebrook, both with 2 fouls, as well as Caroline Colonel. Tigers start on possession here in the second half. They now move from right to left on your screen. Patient first possession as they work it around the outside. Colonel tried to force one down low, and it ends up being a turnover. As Brooke Kelly, who had a strong first half for the Knights, comes up with that one, quickly firing over as that was all but down. Out of the hands of Kellner. Good finish, though, from Gearend on the offensive board. Colonel inside, came up a little bit short. Quickly the other way are the Knights. First time in almost a quarter and a half, Cato, we've seen the starting five of the Black Knights on the floor together. Julia slows it down up top. Works it over to O'Hara on the right wing. Up top, here's Goodwin. Full swing all the way around. Elizabeth down low now. Inside for Colonel as that one rolls over the front rim. Grabs her own rebound. Couldn't get it the second time. 50-50 battle, and Middlebrook no good again. As the Tigers just can't get that first bucket to fall here in the third quarter.
And it's going to be Brooke Kelly picking up the foul. And it's her first.
Coach Diane Burns is going to take a timeout. It's a 30-second one. We'll take one with them and be right back on the HAN Network. Back on the HAN Network, and for the first time in the second half, let's go down courtside with our own Kevin Coleman. Kevin, a couple of offensive rebounds to start that possession for the Tigers, but still trying to find that elusive first basket here in the third.
They are, Coach DeMarzo, instructing them to keep getting those offensive rebounds. A basket's going to come. Keep putting shots up. And Frank, a stat to keep in mind for fans at home, going into the half, the Ridgefield Tigers were 7 of 18 from the foul line. Coming back out, we touched upon it. Coach DeMarzo said, hey, why don't we practice our foul shots before the second half started? It's what the girls did. So we'll see if that pays off. That little practice to start the second half helps out the Tigers here in the second half, Frank.
Trying for that full court trap there, but able to break right through it were the Black Knights. Gearan quickly with 4 points here in the third quarter. And that 10-point lead is down to 6. A risky pass from O'Hara to Goodwin. Another foul as this one quickly against Brooke Kelly. She's picked up 2. All 5 starters now, Cato, with at least 2 fouls for Stamford.
And Brooke Kelly, she was trying for that intercept of that pass. She got a little too aggressive. She should have just left it alone and defended the guard after the pass.
Seeing that 2-3 zone from Stamford here. It has really kept the Tigers to the outside, at least through the start. As Goodwin had that one taken away inside. Coach DeMarzo desperately wanted a foul called that time, as Giron comes up with not 1 but 2 rebounds and able to get it to go again on the second. And that draws a roar from this Black Knights crowd. Turned over again. Kelly feeling it for 3, in and out. Poked aside as Giron looks for help. Kellner wants it on the left wing. Martinez going to run the pick and roll. Easy lane to the basket. The floater wouldn't go, though. Goodwin in transition with the right hand. And the first bucket of the first half for the Tigers.
It's going to be a full timeout for Ridgefield.
And we will take it with them. It is a 6-point game, 29-23 in favor of Ridgefield. More high school hoops after this on the HAN Network.
Are you ready for winter? Ski and Sport has everything you need to be fully outfitted for the season. A family-owned and operated business with over 40 years of experience, Ski and Sport's 3 convenient locations in Fairfield County offer top-quality, high-fashion ski and winter wear. In addition to clothing for men, women, and children, we also offer seasonal rentals for the entire family. Stop by our stores on 1 Ethan Allen Highway in Ridgefield, 877 Post Road East in West Stamford and at 110 Main Street in New Canaan, or visit us at skiandsport.net.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
Back in Kutso Gymnasium on the HAN Network. Campus of Stamford High, home of the defending FCIAC and state champion Lady Knights. Ring night here tonight, Cato. So we got to see that ring ceremony before tonight's game. Last year's seniors came back for the ceremony along with this year's team. A very cool event to get to see. Good one with the left inside. She converts. And she has done all the scoring so far in the third quarter for the Tigers.
Stamford High's pressed, leaving the defense on without numbers to contend with Ridgefield.
Martinez's shot was short, and then a jump ball ruled. Possession arrow pointing to the Ridgefield Tigers. Good battle down low between the seniors, Middlebrook and Gearan.
And the first half of this third period, it's been Gearan. It's been all Gearan. She's been working on the boards, double, second chance shots, hustling, moving, clearing out space. She's done she's been the blue-collar worker for Stamford High in the second half so far.
Great ball movement as O'Hara pulls up in the mid-range. Too strong off that back rim. And there's an offensive board for Caroline Colonel.
And Gearan, that mistimed her jump on the rebound, jumped a little too soon. If she had just timed it right, Stamford High's off and running again.
Colonel inside, dumps it down low. Middlebrook had it blocked from behind. Nice play from Kellner. Better hustle from Colonel to keep the possession alive. One more time, but the travel is called. Again, Cato, there is that grittiness and the hustle points for the Ridgefield Tigers.
And that's what they've done all game. And Stamford High come out early. They were able to get this lead to 6. Now Ridgefield's expanded it with a couple baskets, get it back to 7. But for Stamford High, got to get back to ball movement and getting it down inside to the big players.
Pass into Kellner. She goes cross court to Kelly to beat the press. 3:15 remaining. Battle between the number 1 and number 8 teams. Currently in the conference, but way too early to be thinking about playoff rankings at the moment.
Not on January 4th.
Of course, you have also got the number 3 team in the state, trailing by 8 points right now per game time CT. Make that 10 points. And another timeout going to be taken, this time by the Ridgefield Tigers. Let's stay here. And we'll go down courtside to Kevin Coleman. Kevin, the pace is picking up now as we start to see both teams looking to run a little more in transition.
Yeah, Coach, after that timeout, Coach DeMarzo, very emotional, very pumped up with his team, getting high fives all around. Couple nice steals, big turnovers for the Ridgefield Tigers. Caroline Colonel with the nice finish there to get the timeout. Stanford, a lot of adjustments need to be made. We'll see if they make that. This is a good Stanford team, but right now the Ridgefield Tigers are out hustling them and outplaying them, Frank.
Thank you, Kevin. A 10-point game again. The 2 high scorers in the game as it stands right now. You've got Marta Guirand with 9 and Caroline Colonel with 9.
What Stanford needs to do is first they've got to break this press, which they've demonstrated at times they can do.
You have to give credit to those back 2 players for the Tigers. They've done a good job of stopping the fast break in transition. When Stanford is able to beat that press. A nice pass there from Middlebrook. Breaks the press, and Julia will wisely slow things down. I thought Kellner might have forced that shot on the last possession, but she has been very, very quiet here to start the third quarter.
And Kellner, for a big player, she's very athletic. She moves very well.
Goodwin's going to go to the baseline. Now drives inside. Oh, the finger roll just no good off the front rim. And they will say it is out of bounds. Last touch by Ridgefield.
And Goodwin has to watch that frustration level because she went up and she went to, I don't know if she went to swat the ball, but when you've got 3 players in front of you, especially the ones that are bigger than you, you're going to go and try to swat that ball. You're going to pick up a foul.
Siderland had it taken away. Middlebrook, nice bounce pass. Goodwin goes up strong. Siderland came out of nowhere and rejected it. Great hustle from both sides as they trade possessions back and forth with 90 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Couple of skip passes here coming from the Tigers as they try to break that rotation. Penetrate and kick that time as it finds O'Hara from the right wing, but she can't convert. Rebound by O'Connor. Stamford looks to break this a one-possession game. Nice outlet. Elizabeth goes up to Julia, and she converts from the left side. Her first points of the second half. It's a 12-point lead. Down low to Guerin. Bauer, loose ball on the floor. The Black Knights come up with it momentarily. Credit the hustle here, Cato, with 34 seconds remaining. I thought that was a minute-long window of some sloppy ball movement from both teams.
And it looked a little bit, there was some fatigue in there, and they were over-pushing. Both sides are stressing the issue. For Stamford High, just get to position and just work. You're not gonna make up a 10-point lead in one shot.
Kellner, turnaround from the mid-range, and she knocks it down.
And that's what you need to do with your possessions. You need to make them count. 2 points, 3 points, get foul shots, whatever you need to do. Every possession needs to have points on the board for Stamford High at this point.
Alexa Kellner has 9 points in the game with 7 seconds remaining. Now the Tigers ready to go. Kicked outside. O'Hara for 3. Short off the mark. Guerin the rebound and will not have time to get the shot off. We will start the fourth quarter the same way we started the third. It is a 10-point difference in favor of the Tigers, 35-25. Fourth quarter of action coming up right after this on the HAN Network.
Want to reach new heights in your fitness and health goals? Find what you're looking for at Elevation Spin, Train, and TRX in Georgetown, Connecticut. Elevation Spin gives you purposeful spinning workouts inspired by the road. We encourage monitoring of heart rate and energy zones. Elevation also offers customized personal training with dedicated professionals passionate about helping you reach your goals. And let us motivate you to reach greater performance and functionality with TRX suspension training, using your own body weight for an incredible dynamic workout. Located at 4 Old Mill Road in Georgetown, call Elevation at 203-544-9503 or visit elevationspintraintrx.com for more.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan, and you've heard me talk about the Chevy Volt for years. The new model gets 53 miles on EV charge daily, plus 420-mile full range. But don't take my word for it. You need to come in and test drive the Volt yourself. Visit us at 261 Elm Street in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
We are back on the HAN Network. Fourth quarter of action coming up. Frank Renito, Chris Cato, Kalen, and Kevin Coleman in Kutso Gymnasium on the campus of Stamford High School. Tigers with a 10-point lead entering the fourth quarter over the undefeated Stamford Black Knights. And Cato, similar to what Coach DeMarzo was talking about in the Tigers' last performance, Stanford is really struggling shooting the basketball and scoring points tonight.
And it's more credit to Ridgefield defense to Stanford's struggles because it's just been swarming and every shot's been contested.
Ridgefield would be wise to remain patient until Stanford forces the issue. Of course, there's no shot clock in high school basketball. As Middlebrook wisely dribbles her way through that zone defense and draws the foul. That is the third team foul against the Black Knights. First one on Megan Linseedle. Ridgefield does not have a foul in the second half. Julia captaining the offense right now. Great ball movement and Colonel inside. Just not enough on that one as it came up short with the open look. And as you said at the end of the last quarter, Cato, the Black Knights cannot afford empty possessions right now. They need to come up with points as Kellner's off with another three.
And Kellner, that's a contested three. And that's part of what Ridgefield's done all night. They've been in the shooter's face.
O'Hara with it, hesitates for a moment, goes up to the rack, off the glass, no good. Kellner the rebound momentarily, but it's taken away by Colonel. O'Hara with a lane, crosses over, now goes to the rack and had it knocked away. It will stay with the Tigers with 6:31 remaining.
And part of Stanford's problem has been they're not really taking care of the basketball, not getting control, and Ridgefield's taking advantage of that. They're spotting that weakness when it comes to controlling the dribble and just holding the ball, and they're reaching in and getting it.
It's tough to tell who's going to be more upset off those last possessions. Coach DeMarzo with Colonel's last shot choice, or Coach Burns with the errant pass that was taken away. Colonel made up for it, and now a 12-point lead for the Tigers.
And Jagozinski is going to check out. The freshman, number 10, Jessica Nelson, is going to check in for Stamford High.
O'Connor went to the baseline. That was the first shot attempt we have seen tonight from the junior. She's going to earn her way to the free throw line. That foul went against Elizabeth Middlebrook. That's her third foul of the night, the second team foul against the Tigers in the second half.
And Stanford High on the second attempt, they're going to have to do, what they have to do is if it's a miss, they've got to get to position and box out.
Lead down to 11. O'Connor banks home the second. 2 for 2 was the junior. It's a 10-point game again. Julia navigates her way up court, hands off to O'Hara. Saw it poked away, and a good job by Megan O'Hara to come help her teammate out. See the patience that we talked about, Cato. Ridgefield in no hurry. Every extra pass, every extra dribble, just eating away at those final 5 minutes and 32 seconds.
For Stanford High, with 5 minutes and 32 seconds left, every tick counts. Every tick is important. It's a tick you can't get back, and Ridgefield is doing a great job eating up that time.
O'Hara working against Kellner at the top of the key. Here's Goodwin with it. Lost her dribble, and now O'Hara open for three in the corner. No good, and another offensive rebound. This time it's Claire Middlebrook.
Stanford High is struggling with those long rebounds, not getting out to the position to defend them properly.
O'Hara goes behind her back. A foul called down on the floor. We'll see who it goes against.
That call's going to be on Nelson. She's going to pick up her first.
this one turned over. Coach DeMarzo thought there was a foul that time. No call, and it is going the Black Knights' way. So they exchange turnovers with 4:40 remaining. Colonel flashes outside, looks for help, and quickly hands back to O'Hara. Kevin, at what point in time does the Black Knights defense have to force the issue and really start to apply pressure to get their offense started?
It starts now, and Frank, you just saw right there, they got a nice turnover there, down 10, little over 4 minutes to go. They could easily get back into this game.
Well, a full timeout taken by Coach Burns and the Black Knights. We'll step aside as well and be right back after this with the final 4 minutes and 20 seconds of high school hoops on the HAN Network.
Why cook it all this holiday? Avoid the stress of holiday planning and let your friends at Walter Stewart's in New Canaan do the heavy lifting. Whether you're looking to fill in with a few crowd-pleasing sides or you want us to prepare your whole feast, from cranberry sauce to pumpkin pie, we're ready to simplify your holiday. Place your order from our holiday menu and spend your holiday the right way, relaxing. Our fresh prepared holiday meals to go are designed with your busy schedule in mind. Visit us at stewartsmarket.com or at 229 Elm Street, New Canaan.
Discover a world of wellness in the heart of New Canaan. Halo Studios, New Canaan's first collaborative wellness center, offers you the freedom to choose from the best and latest health, fitness, and wellness options. Inside Halo Studios, you'll find all the wellness experts you need at places like Halo Fitness, Priority Wellness, and Sama Yoga Center. Come by for a free wellness assessment, open 7.
She wisely slows it down. All three Middlebrooks get in on the action. And call for the hand check that time is Brooke Kelly. A timeout to be taken with 1:51 remaining. We'll step aside as well. It is an 8-point lead for the Tigers as they look to close this one out against the undefeated Stamford Black Knights here on the HAN Network.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking. To a partner that makes small businesses feel big. Where community comes first. Where high-tech tools go hand in hand with a human touch. Where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver. Where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well, bank smart, bank local, bank well.
Cato, 1:51 remaining. You're trailing by 8. What is the message from Coach Burns in the defensive huddle right now?
Got to get the ball back quickly. Need to get the ball back. Need to get it up court. Minute 50. It's an 8-point lead. It's at best a 3-possession game. You need to start thinking about setting up maybe the 3-pointer too.
And there's that steal they were talking about. Kellner spots up the 3. Goodwin blocked it from behind. Coach DeMarzo not happy with that call. It was ruled a 2-point shot. So Kellner at the line shooting 2 now.
And that's a clear foul. She had, it's, even though it's not, the 3-point shot is in there, what DeMarzo saying, but it's the smack on the arm that's going to draw the attention of the official.
7-point game after the first free throw. Make it 6. Elizabeth picked up her dribble, now desperately needs help. Sends one up ahead. And Julia Middlebrook, good job running that down.
And Brooke Kelly is going to pick up her 4th.
All 4 of those coming in the second half. 1:33 remaining. And Kevin, we'll see if that free throw practice after halftime paid off. Julie at the line with the 1-and-1 opportunity.
And you see Stanford made both their free throws. Very clutch performance. There it is. Caroline Kerr, the big rebound. But bad turnover for the Tigers, Frank.
Threw it right away to Brooke Kelly, who goes up, and the foul!
Just determination by Brooke Kelly to get to the basket.
Foul is on O'Hara. And it's a 3-point game, just like that. Here's Goodwin, open opportunity with the left hand, no good. Stanford has trailed by as many as 12 here in the second half. Now with an opportunity to tie the game. The shot this time was blocked by O'Hara. She gains half court on the foul called here. If you're the Stamford Black Knights, I'm not that worried right now sending the Tigers to the free throw line, Cato.
Right now you're not. You're getting it's the 1-and-1, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't box out and get the rebound. If you're going to get outworked underneath the basket, then it doesn't matter with the 1-and-1.
O'Hara knocks down the first, a huge free throw for the Tigers.
That free throw extends it, now makes it a 2-possession game once again with 51 seconds.
No good on the second. Battle for the rebound, and O'Connor has it. There's Kellner. She's going to drive to the hoop, pull up from the mid-range on the baseline, and the jumper's good. Back to a 2-point game.
Great ball handling by Kellner, getting to the baseline with the elevation.
And a foul on the floor there. And that will do it for Kelly, her 5th and final foul.
Martinez is going to have to check back in. Burns has got to break this up. She did not call a timeout. She's going to get hit with a technical. Ridgefield too. You can't have these huddles. It's a 20-second meeting. Get your player in, break it up.
It will be Elizabeth Middlebrook at the line. Kevin, she looked good at after halftime practicing. We'll see if that carries over.
These are clutch free throws coming out for Elizabeth Middlebrook right here, Frank.
The loudest the gym has been all night. Middlebrook's first, short, but it got the friendly roll, and it's a 3-point game again.
Stamford High has to box out.
33 seconds remaining. The Black Knights have fought their way back to trail by 3. Middlebrook 2 for 2. Elizabeth makes it a 4-point game. No Brooke Kelly for the Knights. She's fouled out. Dumped inside. Gearin up off the glass, and it's good. O'Hara dribbles up past half court. And she draws the foul with 14 seconds remaining.
Stamford High with a little lapse. Forgetting you have got to get on the player at that point. Now it's a 2-shot free throw. But for Stamford High, you've got to stop that clock right away. You let a good 5 ticks come off before you committed the foul.
A 4th foul against Martinez.
Oh, if you're Ridgefield, this is who you want it to stripe.
O'Hara rattles home the first one. It's a 3-point game again.
That is a key free throw for Ridgefield.
A timeout taken with 14 seconds remaining in a 4-point game. And Kevin, take us inside that Ridgefield huddle. What is Coach DeMarzo saying at the moment?
Don't commit any silly fouls. Let them drive the lane. We have to get the ball back, plain and simple, but no silly fouls. That's the key thing for any coach. With 14 seconds left and a lead like this, do not commit any fouls and send Stanford to the line.
But in this possession, what you can afford to do is Stanford High sets up their play. You've only got 3 fouls and a half. You've got 3 fouls to give. Get in on that person you're defending. Make them work. If you draw the foul, so what? You got 3 more, and you can't commit 3 fouls in a span of 14 seconds.
At a certain point in time, do you expect to see Ridgefield go for that foul and force Stanford to reset, Cato?
I don't think they're going to go for that foul. I think what they're going to do is they're going to play aggressive. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to do everything they did tonight. And if they get the foul, so be it.
No matter what, you cannot foul anyone who looks like they're going to be attempting a 3-point shot. And there is that foul. They have 2 more to give. This one with 10 seconds remaining.
And for Stanford High, it's a 2-possession game. You have got to commit the foul, and you have got to get up on top of whoever you're defending.
They go inside. Kellner. Denied by Colonel. Coach DeMarzo did not want the foul that time.
You don't want the foul on the shooter. But in this respect, it is a good foul because what happens is you give that a hard foul, it prevents Kellner from getting the basket in the and one.
And she's off with the first. This to keep Stanford in the game. Knocks it down. And they quickly inbound to O'Hara, who is fouled with 4 seconds remaining.
That's going to be, I believe, Kellner's third.
What a game this has been. 4 seconds remaining, and O'Hara trying to put this one on ice. She has made her last 2 free throws. Make it 3. It is a 4-point game. O'Hara misses. Duran comes up with it. They've got to get this off quickly as Martinez fires from range. No good off the rim. The Tigers hold on despite making this one as interesting as possible. We'll step aside quickly, and when we get back, Kevin Coleman will be joined with our player of the game right here on the HAN Network.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN Network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network, and we've also reached 1.7 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back on the HAN Network, the Tigers hold on for a 44-39 victory. We go now down courtside to Kevin Coleman with our players of the game, sisters Julia and Elizabeth Middlebrook. Kevin, take it away.
Thank you, Frank. I'm here with Elizabeth and Julia Middlebrook. Girls, congratulations on a huge win against a very good Stamford Black Knight team. Elizabeth, I'll start with you. Take us through that last minute. You guys were up as many as 12 points. It came down to deficit was 2. Walk us through that last minute.
It was definitely very nerve-wracking, especially because we were going back and forth like 2 points, 4 points, 2 points, 4 points. And I think what we really focused on was our tempo and keeping our pace and staying focused, and that's all we can really ask for in that crucial moment.
Now, what's going through your mind? You hit 2 very clutch free throws there at the end. What's going through your mind?
Well, as I'm taking them, I was like, I am 1 for 5 right now. If I don't make these 2, I'm done. So I just focused on my shot and made them.
And Julia, the quarterback of this team, walk us through, you're dribbling through this press that they're putting on. Walk us through what's going through your mind dribbling through that press of Stanford.
Well, before the game even started, our game plan was we know they're tall and they're athletic, but we have the speed. And part of that is just moving the ball. And I thought that even if they scored, it doesn't matter. We just get the ball and pound it to the other side of the gym. And, it worked for us. It was Grace had a great layup, and Colonel did too, and that really kept the tempo going and what we focused on and what we accomplished.
Now, you held this Stanford Knight team to 39 points. Talk about your defense and what Coach DiMarzo really emphasizes for your defense coming into this season.
I think it's all about how, beginning of the season, we knew that defense wins games, and we all have that grit, I would say, to really focus down and shuffle through. And, basketball isn't all about scoring. It's always about the assists and also defensive moving and just making sure we close everybody out, box out, and I think our whole team did a great job of it. I'm so proud of us tonight.
All right, girls, well, congratulations. Go celebrate with your teammates. Frank, back to you.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you to Julia and Elizabeth. A big win for the Tigers, Cato, but we've seen this story before.
Runs. But what's surprising more than anything, it was just Ridgefield's hustle. They out-hustled Stanford High. They got to the spots Stanford High didn't. The long rebound Stanford High struggled with. And it was really, Stanford High committed a lot of fouls. And I don't know, you can't look at it and say, you know what, it's mistakes. It's not necessarily mistakes. It's these fouls occur when you get beat to spots. When your defender gets that extra step and a half on you, and you're left reeling trying to make that defensive play. That's where those fouls come in. For Stanford High, this team is too good to have their season go down from this. This for Stanford High is a learning process. They learned a lot about their team today. And on top of it, going into the half, they were down 10 at the half. They made this a very close game. And they battle right back into it.
They were down 12 in the third quarter. I think the big learning experience that Coach Burns has got to preach is they had no business being in this game. If Ridgefield hits their free throws at any point in time, this game was over. So I think they have to be very, very cautious of that. Now, moving forward, again, I agree. I don't think this Stanford team is going to fall off the map. We apologize for some technical difficulties. Bear with us here as we've lost our last camera. But just the last and final thought here, Cato. I think for Ridgefield, it's a scary team throughout the conference when you saw how well they handled one of the bigger teams today, and you think about their ability to run in transition and the speed advantage they'll have over a lot of teams.
And I think a lot of teams, especially in the FCIAC, they've had to take notice here that Ridgefield has been able to stretch the floor. They stretched against Stamford High. And, if you could stretch the floor like this against Stamford High and get points, you could do it against anybody. And I think every team in the FCIAC has to realize if you are going to beat Ridgefield, you're going to have to out-hustle them. You're going to have to outrun them. You're going to have to outwork them. And I think Stamford High learned that today.
For Ridgefield, they are now 5-1, 3-1 in the conference. They stay right in the mix. Stanford is going to fall to 5-1. They're 3-1 in the conference as well. It is a huge win for the Tigers. Cato, we're back Friday night from St. Joe's when the Cadets host Norwalk in boys basketball. Great job tonight. Happy birthday again, brother. We will see you soon. For Chris Cato, Kalen, Kevin Coleman, our director, Eric Gendron, I am Frank Renito. Ridgefield 43 and Stanford 39. Make sure you're back with us tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. with Kate Jablensky for your coffee break right here on the HAN Network.